Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are hopefully going to be doing story 3 and 4. On my channel already should be a brief supply album, setup, title page, and then I have stories 1 and 2 onto my channel. Sorry, lots of words, I'm still thinking. And so we're moving on to 3 and 4. So 3 will have to be on the back side of a full page photo. So that leaves room for me to use something with cardstock and anything else. So I want to keep 3 and 4 just side by side and not do another double page spread. Simply because I think if I start doing always like a full page photo and a, you know, a pocket page or something, it's going to get thick real quick. So let's right now 3 and 4 do them kind of pocket to pocket and keep it going. So I'm going to need to have this photo out to measure how big I need to have that one, and we'll decide, because now this is where you have creativity, or at least I do. I can decide to, you know, use this one that is sitting here ready to go. I also have this flap motion because I kept the branding strip on there. Or we can, you know, move over to a full page photo or just use a 4 page. So I can use whatever I want for story number 4 by just rearranging it right now. So I hope that makes sense. That's why I did some of these foundation pages, because I'm like, oh, you know, simple story and or journaling can go there and make everything on the bottom decorative. So however detailed or simple, however you want to keep it. You know, something like this could be story number 4, just so that it's smaller to the point, and then the next page could be story 5. So that's how I'm approaching it, and let's get started. That way I can start assembling this one. And what I had thought I was going to do, okay, so the story is this poem. So I shared it on my Instagram feed not too long ago. And so I printed it, I typed it out from Poetry, a Poet on Instagram, printed it on vellum, and I wanted to find a pattern paper in the All Wrapped Up collection that wasn't so busy so that you can still read it. And this is the one that won, because everything else was always so busy that it got lost. So for instance too, you know, just so you can see my thought process. So if it's on vellum and I'm trying to see it, like even this one was good, but too busy still with the darker green. This was definitely too busy. This one worked, but I didn't like that it was dark. This one is too busy. See how you just lose all that text? This one could work too, but I was kind of like, I love the red and then the dark green again. So like, you can see where my head was. So that's how I auditioned it out. So I was like, I definitely printed it to size, and I thought about just making it like an overlay and printing my photo bigger so that you would see the photo. But in this regard, I'm trying to make it with this photo to be the flip up, and then you can see everything. But at least when this is on this, it looks readable, and then this could be the flip up moment. So that's my thought. So my thought process right now. And so the photos are of one of my recent holiday crafts. I made a sweatshirt. It's hunter green, and then these are iron-on letters from Hobby Lobby, and I wrote out "Find the Joy." And so I just put the camera on a tripod with an auto take, and I was just like posing in front of my tree real quick and did that, and then just printed out a little collage. And I printed out this one with the diagonal in color, even though it's still hard to see, but I did print it out all in black and white. And I was like, you know what, it looks, you can't tell the funness of my sweater. So I mean, it's still hard to see, but it was a little better. So that's why I printed it twice. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started on the crafting of these pages. So for story 3, we are taking a full 12 by 12, taking off the branding strip and cutting it so that it matches the backside of the previous story, which is probably around 7 inches wide. And then I'm taking it up to the top just to know, not that I'm cutting it, but I'm scoring it so that it's an entire flip up element there. And I'm using the scoreboard, scoring board, and making sure that it's nice and crisp with the bone folder. So I do like using the scoreboard a lot. Sometimes when you just fold it, it's just different. It just hits different with the paper, that it gets that little canal in there. It just works so much better. So I highly recommend it. Now I do have to kind of cut off just a tab of the full flip up portion just because of the holes. I don't want it to be hindered by it. So I made sure to clear out like a 1/2 inch for it, is what you saw me kind of clip and go from there, just so that the punch marks didn't go. Now, this is where I was like, what do I do? Do I want it to go all the way up, or do I want it to be just on the bottom section below the flip? I was making sure that it would fit. So I was like, where do I have to cut? So here I was just like measuring it. And this is all done eyeballing it. Let's be honest. You don't see me bust out a ruler, okay? This is all just eyeballing it. But I did know I wanted a white border on my photo. And so I made the photo cluster. And if you can tell, the ones on a diagonal from upper left to lower right are in color still. So you can kind of see that my sweatshirt is like that hunter green. And then the rest of them, I just made all black and white. Because at first it was all black and white. And then I was just like, it looks too boring. Let me add some color. So I went back in and just made the diagonal color so that I had like, my skin tone and everything ready for it. It's a slight change. You probably didn't even notice it, but it's something that I know I went back and reprinted. And I will use the all black one maybe for journaling in my just regular, writing journal. So yeah, that kind of concludes this one because I don't really go in making any extra journaling. I just keep it going. And so this was me just kind of hunting around for a piece of pattern paper to cut out a punch tab with that I knew it would create the area for the flip up. And so that worked out pretty well. And that I'm just cutting down the vellum. And I made it the full sheet so that it sit there. I didn't kind of like cut it down just tight around the text. I did just leave it as like the whole area to occupy. Then moving on to the next story. Oh no, so I'm still working on this one. I was just, oh, that's right. I'm embellishing it. So I do have room to put something up on top, but the Merry Days, I just wanted something else for the, arrangement of it, always like a title or something large. So that's the whole reason behind there. So here I am for the next story. The next story are just two songs that are in my house on repeat. My daughter is in love with the Descendant movie series as well as the zombies. And both casts have created like Christmas songs, and that's just what it is. And she has found the music videos on Disney Plus, and we have found obviously the songs on Apple Music, and they're on her playlist, and they're on our playlist. And so what I did was just simply Google the lyrics to each of the songs, and I just made it a text box in a Word document and printed it out so that it fit for a 3x4 cut in half. So it's really like a 4x8. And it worked out great. And don't get me wrong, like I think of course I can go back and add more journaling under like the decorative 3x4 card, but I think the story is self-explanatory enough that these are just the songs that are on repeat. And I do like marking the thing because, again, I think I like things like this that mark her age at 8 years old. Because next year, this may be, too teeny bopper, too little kid for her. And she may have moved on to a different Christmas song that she's obsessed with. So things like this are great to include in your album because as they grow, their music tastes obviously change, and these things that were oh so important today fade a little bit. And so the big number 4 is from Color Cast Designs, and I'm just trying to select a paper to use as the background because I just want it to pop more. And so I'm just auditioning out more papers in my stash, and I ended up just going with the craft one, which is a pattern paper from the 6x8. And for this, I just had to cut off the teeny tiny part of the beginning of the 4 for it to fit in the pocket well. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't have the footage for me creating story number 5, but as you can quickly have seen, it was just filling the backside of those 3x4 cards. And it was just about a simple story about the new ornaments we had purchased this year. And actually, I think we did buy 5, so it kind of worked out serendipity like that. So then for story 6, I am moving over the little half sheet of paper. Well, it's not half sheet. It's a 6x8 folded in half that I had just sitting in my album ready to go. And so I'm moving it forward to hold the story about going to the Home Depot workshops every month this year. Now, we went on December 6th, so it was serendipity once again that this is story 6 because this happened on the 6th. And she has loved going to these. We have now completed 2 years in a row. I would like to brag. And she has loved the projects, and she has come quite proficient in using a hammer and the screwdriver. So if you have young kids, definitely take them as often as you can. Now, as you can see, I took a bunch of 2x2s and I put them on white backgrounds. And in the end, I ripped them all off because the white just made it was good, but it made it too tight to fit with this very big title piece that I was adamant about using. So that Mary piece, you saw me audition it across the top, across the bottom, and now I like it now along the side so that the folded 6x8 can kind of sit next to it and be seen as well. And so the white border did work good. but I think it was just because I really wanted to use the title piece that I decided not to use it as well. Okay, my dears, this will wrap up stories 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for 3, we finished it off with my cluster. I put Merry Days on there for a title piece, and then that lovely poem is underneath here. I didn't do anything on this flip side of it, just because I'm going to see how chunky my album gets, but there's room for either more journaling or a title piece or something, but we'll leave it as so with that. We have the lyrics to song number 4. I did swap these 2 cards, and I have the lyrics underneath it. And once again, I could add have more journaling here and make that a flip card, but I think having the album song covers and the lyrics is kind of lending itself to what's been on repeat in our house this year. Story 5, I'm sorry I lost the footage on creating that, but you see how simple I kept it. It's the back side of the 2 cards. We used another color cast design number, the photo of the ornaments we picked out that were new, and then just why we picked them out. And I just put it on like green background paper. It's not necessarily from the collection. It was like a scrap piece, so at least the colors matched. Story 6, this is an old Simple Stories gold number from a previous collection that I just happen to have numbers still. So we have the Home Depot project of that morning, because this did happen on the 6th. Her photo of her completed photo, and then my journaling for the whole year of going to Home Depot. One more photo of her building the cocoa mug this weekend, and then a little foam thicker embellishment. And then I liked having the Mary be along the side. I know I auditioned it out being on the bottom with the 6 2x2s or on the top, but I like the way this layers and we can still read it. So that's why I did it this way. And then 2x2s, these are the other visits to Home Depot this year. And it's been a fun year with that. And I think she still wants to keep on going next year. So I'm really excited that she'll have, like, by the end of next year, when the story is told, like 3 years worth of those pins on her little apron. Very proud of us. Very, very proud of us. So I hope you've enjoyed these simple stories in my December daily. So we got 3, 4, 5, and 6. So stay tuned for upcoming stories we're going to be starting off with the back side of this pattern paper. So thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. It always helps my channel grow. And until next time, everyone, bye.